Something is happening in the garage at 23XI Racing. Not a rumor, not a whisper, a strategy years in the making, and it has one target. Hendrick Motorsports, the most dominant organization in the history of stock car racing, and the team that 23XI Racing was built, brick by brick, to dethrone. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the boldest, riskiest, most controversial plan in modern NASCAR. A plan that's already shaking the garage, dividing fans, and forcing one question across the entire sport. Is Hendrick Motorsports' reign finally about to end? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear changes the way you watch every single race from here on out. Here's what you need to know. 23XI Racing, co-owned by Denny, Hamlin, and Michael Jordan, was never built to be just another team on the grid. From day one, it was built to compete with the biggest, the richest, the most powerful organization in the sport. That organization is Hendrick Motorsports. 14 championships, hundreds of wins, the gold standard, the empire every other team measures itself against. And right now, 23XI isn't just trying to beat Hendrick on Sundays. They're trying to dismantle the system that keeps Hendrick on top. This is happening in the courtroom. It's happening in the recruiting room. It's happening on pit road. And it's happening at a level most fans never see. This is bigger than one race. This is a war for the future of the sport. But here's the question nobody can quite answer yet. Is this a genuine shot at toppling a dynasty? Or is 23XI biting off more than any team, even one backed by Michael Jordan, can chew? Because taking on Hendrick Motorsports isn't like taking on anyone else in this sport. You're not just racing their cars. You're racing their history. Let's go back to where this really started. When 23XI Racing entered the Cup Series, the garage didn't know what to expect. A new ownership group, a new energy, a team that talked, openly, unapologetically, about changing how NASCAR does business. And almost immediately, the tension with Hendrick's world began to build. Not through trash talk, through moves. 23XI started doing something teams rarely do this aggressively, going after talent. Crew chiefs, engineers, personnel with Hendrick fingerprints on their resumes. People who understood, from the inside, exactly what made the 14-time champions tick. Every hire wasn't just a roster move. It was a message. We're not scared of you. Then came a lawsuit. 23XI Racing, alongside Front Row Motorsports, took NASCAR itself to court, challenging the charter system that determines how teams are valued, funded, and guaranteed a spot on the grid. It was an explosive, unprecedented legal battle, and it sent shockwaves through every team in the sport, Hendrick included. Because here's the thing, Hendrick Motorsports has thrived inside that system for decades. If the rules change, the balance of power could change with them. This wasn't a sideline storyline. This was 23XI attacking the foundation the entire garage stands on. But then everything changed. The lawsuit dragged on. Appeals, counterfilings, public statements from both sides. NASCAR pushing back hard. The other teams forced to pick sides or stay silent and watch. And in the middle of all of it, on the track, 23XI kept getting better. Faster, more dangerous on Sundays. Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, drivers who, race by race, started looking less like underdogs and more like genuine threats to Hendrick's stranglehold on victory lane. But what's really driving this? Is it about wins? Is it about money? Or is this about something much bigger? A fundamental rewrite of who controls power in NASCAR? Because once you start pulling at that thread, you realize this isn't just a rivalry. It's a reckoning. Now let's talk about why this is so explosive and why fans can't stop arguing about it. Some insiders believe 23XI's legal fight against NASCAR is a calculated risk that could reshape charter values, revenue sharing, and team ownership stability for everyone, Hendrick included. If 23XI wins meaningful concessions, it doesn't just help them. It restructures the financial gravity of the entire sport. Every time 23XI poaches a key crew member or engineer from a powerhouse organization, fans ask the same question. Is this just smart business? Or is this a direct, personal shot at the teams they're trying to dethrone? Hendrick at the very top of that list? Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, Two men who understand competition at the highest level in two completely different sports. Critics say this is ego-driven, a billionaire's pet project. Supporters say it's exactly the kind of disruption NASCAR has needed for 20 years. And then there's the quiet tension nobody says out loud. Hendrick Motorsports doesn't need to say a word. Their results do the talking. Every win is a reminder. We're still here, and we're still better. That silence? It might be the loudest statement in this entire rivalry. The fan reaction has been nothing short of explosive. On social media, NASCAR Twitter, NASCAR X, lit up the moment legal filings became public. Hashtags trending. Fan accounts picking sides like it's a championship fight. Some fans are calling 23XI the underdog revolution NASCAR has been waiting for, a team willing to challenge the old guard and fight for a fairer system. Others are calling it reckless, a team that should be focused on winning races, not waging legal warfare against the very organization that sanctions the sport. Insiders inside the garage have stayed mostly diplomatic in public, but multiple reports suggest private frustration on both sides. Teams aligned with Hendrick's old-school philosophy reportedly see 23XI's approach as disruptive. Teams sympathetic to 23XI see Hendrick's dominance as part of a system that's long overdue for change. And NASCAR officials? They've had to walk an impossible line, trying to protect the charter system while avoiding the appearance of favoring legacy powerhouses like Hendrick over upstarts like 23XI. Nobody in this story gets to stay neutral for long. So what does this actually mean for the racing, for the championship picture, for the sport itself? Every time 23XI's cars roll on a pit road against Hendrick's fleet, there's an extra layer of intensity now. These aren't just two teams racing for points. They're two philosophies colliding at 190 miles an hour. If 23XI's drivers keep climbing, and the legal battle shifts financial leverage in their favor, Hendrick's long-term dominance could face its most serious threat in over a decade. Resources matter. Talent retention matters. And right now, both are in play. Win or lose in court, 23XI has already changed something permanent in this sport. Teams now know that challenging the establishment, even the biggest, most powerful establishment in NASCAR history, isn't unthinkable anymore. That alone is a legacy, regardless of how the lawsuit ends. This isn't a feud. It's a power shift in real time. But here's what almost nobody is talking about yet. What happens if 23XI actually wins this fight? What happens to Hendrick Motorsports and every legacy team if the system they've thrived in for decades suddenly changes beneath their feet? Because if that happens, this isn't just a rivalry story anymore. It's the moment NASCAR's entire power structure gets rewritten. And that's when things got even more complicated. Because behind closed doors, sources say tensions between teams over the charter lawsuit have only intensified, with some race teams reportedly pressured to publicly support NASCAR's position, even if privately, they sympathize with 23XI's argument. This is no longer just two organizations. It's becoming a referendum on the entire business model of stock car racing. So where does this leave us? 23XI Racing, built by two men who refuse to accept the way things have always been done, locked in a battle against the most decorated organization in NASCAR history. A legal war that could reshape the sport's financial future. A talent war that's already bleeding into Hendrick's own backyard. And an on-track rivalry that's only getting more intense every single week. Is Hendrick Motorsports' dynasty finally facing a real threat? Or will history repeat itself, with the empire standing tall and every challenger eventually fading away? One thing is certain. This story is far from over, and the next chapter could change NASCAR forever. If this story shocked you, wait until you see what's coming next in this rivalry, because this is just the beginning. Hit subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and stay locked in, because we're breaking down every twist, every leak, every reaction in the biggest power struggle NASCAR has seen in years. The next update could drop at any moment. Don't miss it.